everyone. In the last meeting, I've shown you programs that can use branching in JavaScript, especially involving if-else statements and switch statements. In this program, rather in this video, I'm going to shift to a different topic, which is improving our JavaScript using event listeners, particularly bottom events. Now, recall that in the past I've shown a video regarding adding two numbers, which uses two buttons, compute sum and clear values. So this is the example of the web page where you click compute sum and the clear values. Okay, when you compute sum, the sum is computed and displayed on a read-only input, and when you clear values, everything is cleared. Now, this is a very good code. This is the code. This is the equivalent code, which is already good, but commonly, uh, when projects are being developed in teams, two people do this. One person is in charge of the web design, the aesthetics, how good the design is, and the other is the web programmer or web developer. So the web designer creates a web page and builds the HTML. He does not build the JavaScript. The web developer or the programmer develops the the JavaScript involved. However, in this example, we have shown that we have created links between buttons and JavaScript functions. Normally, web designers do not do that. They do not create links between JavaScript elements, or rather HTML elements to JavaScript functions. They are only concerned with the web design itself. So they're only going to create the web page. So therefore, it is not no longer a good practice to embed the function call inside the HTML, because the web designer doesn't know anything about JavaScript, and he doesn't know anything about how the developer names the functions. He doesn't even know what the functions are. So what we are going to do here is to develop a new version of this page. We call it version 4, which in which there is no link between buttons and events, particularly just button events. So we'll create a new file. Okay, we call it add two numbers v4 or version 4, and we are going to create the contents from the original add two numbers add to web page. Okay, let us copy. This is the add two numbers web page. I'm going to copy it to the uh, new version. Okay, this time I'm going to eliminate the embedded functions. Okay, the on click the on click attributes, because usually the web page designer develops the HTML and he doesn't know anything about JavaScript. However, he is only required to give an ID to everything that he creates. For example, he will ID this button as compute sum. He doesn't know that there's a function behind. Okay, and then the clear values will be ID equals clear values. Okay, so that's all. There's no link to JavaScript. Now in the JavaScript function, we will convert our clear values first. We will use the thing that's called event listener. Okay, so we will convert this into actually we don't even have to name this. Okay, we'll just call this a function. Okay, so in JavaScript, event listeners can be nameless functions, which means that function names are optional. Okay, so we'll call document. We'll get the ID of the clear value button. Document that get element by ID. The idea of that is clear values. What's the button? Clear values. Okay. And then we'll say add event listener. Okay. Is that the correct? That's the correct syntax. Add event listener, which means it's going to add an event listener to the bottom clear values, and particularly which event? The click event. Okay, and we are going to pass it a function. So we'll just make it a comma. So this is the function that is executed. Okay, when the clear values event, uh, when the clear values button is clicked. So we are trying to say here is that we are going to get the element called clear values, and we'll add an event listener for a click event, which is going to clear the input values. Okay, and then we are going to clear this, to end this with a end code, or rather parenthesis, close parenthesis, and semicolon. So there are in the add event uh, function or method in JavaScript, there are two events, or rather parameters. No, the event that you want to listen to, and the function that is going to be executed when the event is activated or fired. So let's save this, okay, and then let's try it right away. Okay, so now it's in version 4. Okay, so we have tested the clear values. Can we do that? Let's clear the values. Yes. And if you look at the page source, no, there is no more link between the clear values button and the clear values event, because we have added an event listener in the JavaScript. Okay, usually the JavaScript is also saved to a different file, so that the web developer may not have to read it all. Okay, so the next thing that we will do is to add an event listener to the compute sum button. Okay, let's do that. Let's head over to our file, and then we have here compute sum. We will retain that. Okay, and then we will copy this. Add event listener to the ID compute sum. Okay, and then we will replace the function compute sum with a nameless function. Okay, take note that we are going to end the last part with an end parenthesis and a semicolon because of the get element or add event listener call. So anyway, what we are trying to do here is to add an event listener to the compute sum button. So let's run that, and then let's refresh. Okay. 3, 4, and then we compute sum. It computes the sum. And if you view the page source, and look at the HTML, there's no connection between the onClick event and the compute sum button. But there's an event listener associated to the compute sum. Okay, so that's event listener. Now, can we also add event listeners to other objects aside from buttons? Yes, in fact, we are going to try listening to changes on an input. Okay. Remember earlier that uh, we also have the second version of our add two numbers, where uh, the on key up event is rather associated with each input, such that when a key up event occurs, some computation is done automatically. Let us also try to convert this into an event listening JavaScript. So let's call add two numbers v5. Okay, version 5. Okay. And I'm going to copy the code exactly from the second version. Okay. This is it. And then remember that we are going to remove the association. Okay, so now the button clear values will just have an ID, which the web designer can easily do. Okay, and then we have an ID already for N1 and N2, so we will remove the compute sum. Yeah, because the web developer doesn't know anything about JavaScript. Okay, or rather the web designer. Okay, and now in our clear values, we will convert this into an event listener. Okay, let me just copy the code right away now. So we are going to listen to a click event to the clear values button, and the function is click can now be nameless. Okay, so this is the function associated to the click event of the clear button. Then of course we are going to close that with close parentheses and a semicolon. Okay. Now additionally, let's add an event listener for N1 and N2. Okay. So initially we can do that by copying this. Okay. So now we will listen to the event on N1. Particularly, we remove the prefix on. So if it's on click, we use click. If it's on key up, we use key up. Okay. So associated to N1, this is the function is a nameless function, and we are going to call compute sum inside this function. Okay. It's now okay because it's now within the JavaScript code. Okay. Let's save this. And let's also associate it with N2. Let's just copy this. This is now, and we change this to N2. Okay. Now we're ready to test this. Let's go to V5. Okay, now we'll type 3, we'll type 4, it automatically computes 7. Now if you view the page source, take note that in the HTML value part, there's no more association between elements and events. Okay, like for example, even in the clear button, there's no such association, but when you click the clear values, everything is clear. Now this is done because the event listeners uh, take care of the association of the event and the corresponding action that it's supposed to take. Now, this simplifies the development process because the web design can be done independently by the web programmer, which means the JavaScript is done by the programmer and the web design is done by the web designer. That's about it. So, in our next videos, we will try to write code such that we are going to use event listeners instead of events associated inside HTML tags. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.